Namaste, everyone. I think some of you might have already known me through my work, but for those who are not familiar with me, I would like to reintroduce myself. I'm Shravya Mandadi. I'm an engineer, a legal advisor, philanthropist, social activist, social entrepreneur, handlooms promoter, yoga practitioner, and the list goes on. But today, it is both an honor and privilege to stand in front of you as the founder of we&she Foundation. I would like to speak a little bit about my journey. Like how we&she has actually happened. So like every regular student, I have done my engineering. And after my engineering, I landed up getting a software job. It was in Google. And then when I started working, I think after 6 months, somehow I felt this is not my cup of tea. I'm meant for something else. So that is when I decided to resign for my job. But then in India, we still have this system, right? We actually, we talk to our parents about every next move. So I went to my father and I told him, like, Dada, this is not happening. I want to do something else. I think I've been pretty lucky with my parents because they always gave us wings to fly. Whatever we want to pursue, they never said no. He said, okay, beta, do whatever you wish to. That is when, because I hail from the family of freedom fighters, I always wanted to contribute something from my side to the country. So that is where I thought maybe UPSC could be a medium where I could actually serve people. And then I started preparing for UPSC. You all are aware, UPSC is the mother of all exams in India. And after 2 consecutive attempts, I couldn't clear the examination. And then when I was actually preparing for my 3rd attempt, I was trying to gather material from Delhi, and anyways, I took coaching in Hyderabad only. So that is when, 2 of the students from the institution have committed suicide. So that was very, very disheartening because it's really sad to see young minds losing hope. So it was more like a wake-up call for me. I thought that if I really want to do something for my country, I can do it without any power in an individual capacity or something like that. So that is when I started associating myself, and I always thought social work, is a medium where you can connect with more people. So that is when I started associating myself with different NGOs, and then I met a lot of expertise from different fields. And the day when I actually felt confident that yes, today, I can do something for the underprivileged or someone who is in distress. That is when we&she has actually happened. And I'm the first person to tour 31 districts in 31 days, entire Telangana. It was then we had only 31 districts. So I traveled for more than 4,114 kilometers to know the plight of Telangana women, to know the social and economic state of Telangana women, because this is the state which we fought for. So during my tour, what happened was I came across a lot of issues. And then after my decent research, I realized today we have organization for rape survivors, domestic violence survivors, but we do not have a specific organization, an organization which predominantly works for women who suffered a dysfunctional marriage, divorced women. So I have always been a risk taker. I love challenges. So I thought, maybe I should step in and I should provide a safe space, a community where these women can come discuss what they intend to do post their divorce. And then I wanted to provide a decent platform for them, a safe and secure platform. So that is how we started we&she. And what we do primarily at we&she is that initially I call it the ICTR approach, where we initially try to identify these women. We have a volunteer force. We operate majorly in semi-rural and rural areas because usually what happens with the urban areas is they come from an academically and financially privileged background. So they always have this option to move on. But with rural women and semi-rural women, it is a little difficult. In most of the cases, they're disowned by their own families. So initially we start with identification process, where we operate through a WhatsApp group and through Facebook Messenger, and then we do a background inquiry. And later, when we find she's really going through some trauma, we try to counsel her, which is our second step. where we try to do some confidence building training, because a lot of these women come to us with suicidal tendencies. There's like, divorce ho gaya, abhi hame nahi jeena chahiye, like, because in India, it's still a stereotype. It's like a taboo. People don't want to discuss about it. And even in these areas, parents are like, jo bhi ho jaye, wahi pe rehna, sasural mein hi rehna. Because usually what happens in these rural areas is, as soon as the girl hits her puberty, they want to get her married. And that is where the problem starts. She doesn't even understand, like, what's actually going through her. Sometimes they don't even treat verbal violence as violence also. So later what we do, once we do our confidence building training, and once we are sure, like now they can take up some skill set training, we never force them like, we have multiple skills. We never force them like, no, get trained in this skill only, this is good for you. We give them a choice, like whatever skill you want to get trained, you can please go ahead with that. So they actually pick up a skill, they get trained in that. And later what we do is like, we have courses like from 15 days to 3 months also, which involves like, candle making and soap making, tailoring, muggum works and beautician courses. A lot of courses are available. And after the certification program, what we do is like, comes the last step, which is a rehabilitation program. Most of the women, like, they want to start something on their own. Like, 3 to 5 women, they want to come together, they want to establish something for themselves as a group, and they want to work. But most of them, sometimes they prefer to stay at indoors and like, work from home only. For them also, few central government schemes are actually available, like the Mudra Yojana. We try to help them. We try to do some awareness programs where they can avail all these facilities. So that is how our rehabilitation process begins. So far, we&she has actually started in 2018. The impact we were able to create so far was 547 women were rehabilitated, and we conducted like, lot of safety and hygiene awareness programs for more than 50,000 young women and girl children. And even sometimes what happens is like, you have to keep our mission and vision aside, and humanity comes in the front place. And even few special cases were considered. I would like to share one story with you. So this is basically a skill set training. The teacher, like, she's our training faculty. Yeah, this is how our training programs, like, go on. Yeah, so these group of women learning together. And so there's a certificate program. Yeah, okay, this is, I think we've already seen this. Yeah, this is a little bit about my work, where I get to meet handloom weavers. These are the women who are working in cement factories. And these are women like, they come from small scale businesses, and yeah, someone who lost their shelter due to floods. So these are the campaigns we conduct with girl child children. Oh yeah. So she is the lady in the red sari, right? She's Sakuba Yava. So it was, and I think it was during my campaign when I was doing this 31 districts, 31 days campaign. So I met her, like, in one of these campaigns where it was Mehbubabad district, and I met her. So I was actually interacting with villagers, and she was constantly looking at me. So I thought that maybe, like, she needs some help. I approached to her, and I asked her, like, Ava, what is it? Do you need any help? Then she said, can you just follow me to my home? I said, okay, let's go. Then when I actually went there, in fact, she was staying in, like, you all know, right? We have these blue sheets which are used for construction, the makeshift sheets, like, which are used for construction. She was living under that. Her roof was completely collapsed due to some floods or something, due to heavy rainfall. And then everybody, even the villagers also came along. Then I asked her, like, what happened? Because it was really, really sad to see that particular incident. And then I asked her what happened. Then she said, even few villagers, in fact, spoke on behalf of her. They said that, like, Amma, like, she has, like, 3 sons, but none of them are ready to take her responsibility. Everybody abandoned her. But she's a woman with a lot of self-respect and pride. So she didn't want it to be dependent on anyone. And then she's staying on her own. And unfortunately, because of some local issue and all, she couldn't avail any pension from the government also. So she was all by herself. Then I thought that instantly, sometimes what happens is like instantly you promise something and you can't deliver it, it becomes little awkward also, especially because women, not just women, both men and women in rural areas, especially when you come from city and all, they have little expectation. So I just promised her, I'll just make sure you'll have a decent shelter within 6 months. So when I came back to Hyderabad, I sat down with my team and we tried to coordinate with a local mestri because I wanted to give work to someone who is from the village so that it will be easy for them also to coordinate. And within 2 months and 27 days, we were able to build a shelter for her. Yeah. So I named it as Sakuba Nilayam because none of them, they were supporting her. Her own family has abandoned her. So I wanted her to have a very dignified life, a respectable life, which she deserves. So we, in fact, we performed a housewarming ceremony, and then, entire village was fed on that day. So Sakubayava was, in fact, she had like happy tears. I had she was saying everybody come and go, be it politicians or be it some officers. I had zero hope that something like this could happen, but you have done it. I don't know from where you came and all. She was really emotional. So sometimes keeping our vision and vision, beside also keeping our boundaries aside, we do consider a few special cases. This is like one of them. And these are few newspaper publications which I received for my work. And yeah, these are few awards where I was awarded the Telangana State Award for my work during COVID also. During COVID also, we've done a lot of work. And this was by the ABVP, which is called the Gauri Shankar Puraskar, which was instituted in 2002. I received it in 2022, and I was the first woman recipient to receive that award. And this is by, you're aware, he's Mr. Sajjanar sir and Gopichand sir, by the Cyberabad Commissionerate for the COVID Warrior ceremony. Yeah, and one thing on a closing note, I would say, there'll be a lot of people who'll judge you. There'll be a lot of people who'll try to stop you. And I think you're answerable only to yourself. And secondly, people who gave birth to you, and your gurus who are actually your well-wishers. If there is someone who wish good things for us, apart from our parents, I think it is only our gurus. But some people like me are little lucky with siblings also. So just learn to fly even when your wings are clipped. Keep your head high. Don't worry, you're gonna make it not today or tomorrow or day after, but be little consistent with your work. Don't lose hope. Sometimes, the results might get little delayed. Don't ever compare yourselves with others. Everybody's journey is different. Sometimes, same amount of hard work is put in, but someone is getting an early result. Don't get panicked. Just keep going because we all are humans. We are not any robots. When I can do it, you can also do it. Just keep your passion going, and I think that will take you to where you want to reach, to your end goal. And all the very best for all the youngsters. I think you are the hope of our country. Let's make our country at the top in the global arena. Thank you so much.